Today we're at Shimano's Technical Service Centre because my Marin Alpine Trail E2 is going to get a load of upgrades with some really fancy new stuff from Shimano. And Julian, I mean, expert's an understatement, he's like the #1 guru of Shimano, and he's going to talk me through some really cool parts that are specific for e-bikes. Now, the e-bike's going to be the most important bike for me moving forwards because I still haven't ridden a bike for about 7-8 weeks since collarbone surgery. And to return to sport, I'm going to need a bike that's going to allow me just to cover miles, get fit, do some jumps again, and that you guys want to watch me ride. So the e-bike is the one for that. Marin sent me this Alpine Trail E2 a good few months ago, wasn't it, Ben? And actually, you're the only one to ride it, because I've got the old E1. But I think this could do with so many upgrades. We need to change the suspension and things, but the most important thing is Shimano's new Link glide system. So, Julian, do you want to take over here? Because you've explained about durability, e-bikes, what's crucial for riders like me on bikes like this, and now you make the parts to do so, so shoot.
So it's called Link Glide. So this is Shimano's latest durable group set, I would say. So it's been designed with durability in mind, and it's really for riders who like to push their bikes hard. So it's a perfect match for e-bikes really, or anyone who's going to be basically taking their bike and pushing it to the next level. So
is that because the power of the motor is so much harder on drivetrain?
Yeah, not only have you got the effort that you're putting in, but you've also got the effort that the motor's putting in for you as well. So it's an incredible stress on the actual drivetrain components. And that's something that we found is that riders who are on e-bikes want the extra durability from their components. That's really where Link Glide comes in. And so it's a different design to the cassette, and it's its own ecosystem as well. So not only are we going to replace the cassette, but we're also going to replace the shifter and the rear derailleur as well. So all the parts are designed to function as one.
So I'm in safe hands then, with the best bits.
I'd like to think so, yeah.
So for e-bike riders, or prospective e-bike riders, it's probably going to be an important consideration moving forward to look for Link Glide on a spec sheet of a bike, or if you're doing upgrades like I am today, it's not kind of a luxury upgrade, it's probably a necessity, right?
I would say, if durability is your thing and you find yourself going through drivetrain components really quickly, then Link Glide is definitely the thing to consider.
What should we do then? Probably reluctant to let me do anything, but if you give me a job. Oh, by the way, this is Julian's arrangement of parts, which you can see this was mine, which Ben pointed out kind of gives a prime representation of what we both bring to the table today. So yeah, what can I do?
Let's see if we can learn you some stuff then.
Yeah, go on, learn me.
So we're going to start off with the back end of the bike. We'll start off with getting the Link Glide drivetrain on, and then what we're going to do is get the brakes on, get the shocks sorted, get it up and running, and get you out on the bike. That's the plan for today.
All right, I'll take the back wheel out, so I can take a back wheel out, trust me.
You're all right with that? Yeah.
That's the cassette. So the teeth have a completely different pitch, don't they? They
do, different profiles, so it's like a smoother shift, but also like a thicker base to them as well. So they say, Shimano have said that you'll get about 3 times longer than a regular cassette on this, and one of the things that you'll find is that it's not micro spline, so it runs off a Hyperglide free hub body, and it's 11 gears rather than the 12 you've got on at the moment, so it might be a bit of a concern.
We're all looking to last 3 times longer, aren't we?
That's the dream. What they have said is that you notice the steps between the gears less with an 11 speed, because obviously you've got the power from the motor.
Assist.
So the key features really are the fact that when it shifts the gear, the profiles are designed to really pick up the chain nice and smoothly as well. So the tendency on e-bike, you've got the extra power from the motor, is to like smash through the gears on the cassette. And these are designed to like nicely like pick the chain up, but also drop it down again.
Much cooler than the one that's on there, isn't it?
It's sort of a black chrome, isn't it? I really like the finish that they put on that. It's easy to think, oh, I'm going down to 11 gears, but what the features that you're getting, and the fact that you won't really notice that with the
not on the e-bike. No way. Got some halo wheels to put on it, Olin suspension, gusset parts. But the focus today is to get all this new Link Glide stuff set up on my bike, and then we're going to log into an app, right, and do some tech, weird back end stuff. So we'll talk about that later.
I'm really excited to talk you through what this bike can do and see what you can do with it as well.
Yeah, I never thought a bike would have an app. Right, let's get cracking. You're in business.
Yep.
Yeah, so look really smart actually.
Other people with like the atoms and stuff like that. So I thought we're halfway through the breakdown, so Julian's managed to take off the back wheel, the cranks, the rear mech, the chain. What else have you done? And you've started fitting the brakes. We've got XTR 4-piston brakes. They're super powerful and they're still really lightweight, aren't they? As good as brakes get, really, aren't they?
Yeah, top of the tier when it comes to braking. Doesn't get much better than XTR.
And I've managed to put 2 rotors on my Vortex wheels.
Done well.
Go me. So talking of upgrades, I'm going to do the forks and shock now. So I've got Olin's forks. And actually I'm going with an air shock, which on the last e-bike I ran a core, but I'm going to do an air shock and see how I get on with it. So that's the TTX that's going on there, the rear banger. So I'll do that, that'll take me all day, and you're going to do what? Brakes. Carry on with brakes.
Brakes, gloves are on, so brakes are going to be done.
And Link glide.
Link glide.
It's coming right up. Let's do this. You?
Or American now?
Sweet one. That looks cool, yeah.
For us anyway, we still have a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So we're doing
He smokes got weakness like, doesn't he?
yeah, we has. We were
Easy.
it's obvious afterwards. You know, so this is getting usually training
Way not to get caught. And he saw all these, like, read it off the back of lorry accommodation sort of shit on site as technically staff. You always feel like.
so we all just
Five.
one of those things, isn't it? Once you done it. Build up a profile. You'll hold on, because that's
This is what I had on.
Removed, yeah. We've used 2 rooms because we have here.
I think that, isn't it? I think it's sad when you hear like Grand
American.
which is
the bike is built and looks lovely, doesn't it? We're now fully spec'd up with Link Glide, which is what an e-bike truly deserves. That's a massive upgrade. Obviously you can see my suspension's changed. I've got the TTX air shock on there. The fork is a 38 Öhlins M2, so that's a really burly, bulky fork. Again, very much suited to e-bikes, the burly riding you do on them and the weight of them. Now the brakes are XTR, as I said, which just they look so nice. And we've got an XT drivetrain, again, which is all part of the Link Glide package. Now, we've also just used the existing cable routing of the dropper post, but I put a P&W loam lever on there, which matches the bike perfectly. And the P&W dropper, you can customise these rubber bands there too, so it all matches up with the grey, which just looks sick, doesn't it? The whole bike looks amazing, especially that cassette. There's so much stronger aesthetic appeal than a lot of the other ones that come spec'd on bikes. So it's a massive upgrade. It looks better, it's going to ride way better. But now Jules over here has just actually logged into my bike. Upon turning it on, turning on the battery, he's connected to my bike, and I didn't even know this was a thing. It's absolutely part of the EP8 Shimano motor, isn't it? That you can make unlimited changes, you can adjust what you see on the screen. I mean, you just showed me you can switch from kilometers per hour to miles an hour, right? Which works for me.
Yeah, well,
an easy switch. But the most important bit is this. So talk us through what you can do with all these modes.
Yeah, this is the bit that I'm most excited for you to have a go with, actually. So there's a lot of customization you can do with EP8. So what this has got here is a way of adjusting the motor to your riding preferences, which is probably the best feature of EP8. So you're all probably familiar with Eco, Trail and Boost.
So there are three modes. Eco's
3 modes.
Slowest but gets the most out of the battery.
It's most economical one.
Trail's in between, and Boost is like full gas, but what I wasn't aware of, that you can fine tune exactly what those modes mean to every rider.
Yeah, 3 different levels. So we're on Eco at the moment, so we've let's have a look at Trail. So what you can do is you can drag and drop these bars to your preferences, really. So the 3 options you've got are assist character. What this is really is the overall feel of the bike, really. So you can make it feel either really powerful, really lively, or you can put it into Eco. So,
and to some degree it's responsible for energy consumption, right?
Yeah, that's right. You know, if you're spending a long day in the mountains and, you know, range is your thing and maybe not so much power, then you'd adjust that down a few notches. So you've got max torque and assist start. So these are probably the 2 most noticeable ones. If you're thinking of a section of trail that you've got that's maybe loose, blown out, uphill section, then maybe having all of the torque of the motor is not what you want. So we're describing it like a car, really. So a really powerful rear-wheel drive car that lights up the rear wheels really easily.
Isn't better.
Not on loose terrain. You know, it's just going to spin the wheels. You're going to lose grip. So
Jules was just explaining that obviously you drag and drop the levels of the extremes you want from these 3 settings. And I said, well, why wouldn't you just want all of them at the max? Why wouldn't you want assist start, which is how quickly the power kicks in from the motor when you apply pressure to the pedals? Why wouldn't you just want that at the maximum? And your easy answer was, well, grip.
Yeah.
Because if you put a bit of pressure on the pedals and it puts all that force and power to the back wheel when you're on a steep, loose climb made up of shale or something, you're going to lose traction and you're going to come to a stop. So it's not necessarily advantageous to ramp all of that up, which is why fine-tuning stuff through the app for every rider, and it's not just the rider, it's the terrain you go and ride. If you live in a sandy place versus a muddy place, if it's winter or summer, to have the ability to log into the EP8 and make those adjustments is massive, isn't it? Because you're fine-tuning your bike to the style of riding you're doing. And I didn't know that existed, and I'm buzzing about it.
Yeah, I'm super excited for you to try it and find the settings that work best for you. So I think, you know, when you're out on the trail, you can log onto the bike.
Yeah, it's true. We live in a weird time, don't we?
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, who'd have thought? The other things that we can do, we can update the firmware.
So just because it also needs updates, like a phone, like an Xbox.
Yeah, it's totally like you were saying just now, living in weird times. You know, who'd have thought you'd be able to update the firmware on your bike?
It's important to get the best out of it, isn't it?
Absolutely important to get the best out of it. Again, like with your phone or like with any like wireless device now that needs updates, having the latest update means you get the most out of what you've got on the bike.
Well, I'm excited to play with that. What's the name of the app? So people with Shimano...
eTube Project Cyclist.
eTube?
eTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have a Shimano motored e-bike, you're probably like me, potentially missing out on the fact that you can make these changes. I wasn't aware of it, and the fact I am now means I'm going to get way more out of this bike with parts on it, drivetrain, brakes, all from Shimano that are going to allow me to get further performance out of the bike again. So I've been in lucky hands. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So it's going to be a couple of weeks till I can ride this bike yet, but it is going to be the first bike I get out on the trails on. So thank you to you guys at Shimano. Thanks to
No problem,
like
sir.
bringing my bike to life, and obviously got an expert that set everything up for me. So yeah, buzzing. You'll see me back riding this beast pretty soon, legends.